Have you ever wondered if dating after 60 could be silently affecting your peace, finances, and even your health? At this stage in life, the stakes of love and companionship aren't just emotional. They can affect your physical and financial well-being. In this video, I'll walk you through 3 specific types of women who might unintentionally jeopardize your peace and health, sharing both science-backed evidence and real-life examples to illustrate the hidden risks. Stick with me until the end to uncover practical insights based on extensive research and experience to help you navigate dating with confidence and wisdom. Mistake 1. The drama queen. The hidden toll of constant conflict. Dating after 60 can bring about a new chapter of connection, love, and companionship. But, as many older individuals know, it also comes with its own set of challenges, particularly when it comes to navigating relationships. One of the most problematic types of women that can cost you your peace and health is the drama queen. While she may initially seem exciting and full of life, her presence often leads to constant emotional turmoil that can negatively affect your well-being. At first, the drama queen can seem like a breath of fresh air. She's lively, passionate, and full of energy. If you've been feeling lonely or disconnected, the whirlwind energy she brings can feel exhilarating. But this same intensity that initially captivates you can soon turn into a source of constant stress. Women like this thrive on chaos and conflict. If there's nothing to argue about, they'll create a problem. They might accuse you of not caring, take offense over small things, or demand constant attention. What may seem like a playful flirtation or trivial drama at first soon spirals into a pattern that leaves you emotionally drained. Science backs this up. Research has consistently shown that long-term exposure to stress has profound negative effects on health, particularly in older adults. A 2013 study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that chronic stress is linked to higher blood pressure and an increased risk of heart disease. For men over 60, this is particularly concerning as cardiovascular health becomes a top priority. Stress induced by constant conflict can weaken the body's defenses, impair sleep quality, and elevate anxiety levels, all of which can dramatically impact overall well-being. During my own experience, I dated a woman named Linda. She was 62, full of fire and passion, and at first, I thought I had found a connection that brought excitement and meaning back into my life. But quickly, her emotional ups and downs began to take a toll on me. Our conversations were no longer simple exchanges. They became emotional tests. If I was late to pick her up, she'd accuse me of not caring. If I couldn't immediately respond to her calls, she'd become distant and irritable. It wasn't just her outbursts that affected me. It was the emotional weight of the constant turbulence. I found myself waking up in the middle of the night, replaying our arguments in my head, unable to shake the feeling of unease she created. The impact wasn't just emotional. The stress she caused started affecting my physical health. I noticed an increase in my blood pressure, difficulty sleeping, and an overall sense of exhaustion. I had trouble concentrating, and my once smooth routine was replaced with constant worry. Over time, I realized that the emotional roller coaster she put me on wasn't worth the price I was paying. And while it's difficult to walk away from a relationship filled with passion, the cost of my health and peace of mind made the decision clearer. The lesson here is simple. If you find yourself dating someone who thrives on drama, take a step back and evaluate the situation carefully. Don't ignore red flags, even if they are small at first. If your interactions start to feel like tests of loyalty or are consistently filled with conflict and emotional volatility, it's time to set clear boundaries. And if the drama persists, it might be best to walk away. At our age, we deserve peace, not chaos. Our health and mental well-being are far more valuable than the fleeting excitement drama might bring. Remember, a relationship should provide support, not stress. If a woman's presence constantly weighs you down emotionally, it's crucial to protect your peace. And never forget that after 60, emotional tranquility is worth more than any fleeting passion. You've earned it. Mistake 2. The overly attached, the danger of emotional dependency. Another type of woman to approach with caution when dating after 60 is the overly attached partner. At first, her constant attention might seem flattering. She calls you, texts you, and showers you with affection, making you feel important and cherished. After spending years on your own or with minimal romantic involvement, this attention can feel like a dream come true. However, there's a fine line between affection and obsession. It's essential to recognize when the scales tip toward emotional dependency. Research published in a Journal of Personality and Social Psychology highlights that emotional dependency in relationships can lead to significant stress, especially for older adults. When your partner demands constant attention, it can create an environment where you feel emotionally suffocated. This constant need for reassurance can lead to increased anxiety and feelings of insecurity. A study published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry found that relationship dependency in older adults is linked to higher rates of depression and anxiety. As we age, we must prioritize our mental health, and being in a relationship that limits personal space can undermine that. Take the example of Frank, a retired accountant in his late 60s who met Karen, a woman in her late 60s, through a mutual friend. Initially, Karen's constant communication made Frank feel loved and wanted. Her calls, text messages, and affection gave him the attention he had longed for. However, over time, Karen's clinginess escalated. If Frank didn't respond to her text messages immediately, Karen would send a barrage of additional messages, accusing him of ignoring her. When Frank planned to spend time with his family or friends, Karen would guilt-trip him, claiming he was neglecting her. The situation became emotionally exhausting for Frank. He began to feel guilty about wanting time for himself, to engage in his hobbies or socialize with his loved ones. His emotional well-being started to deteriorate, and he became increasingly anxious about Karen's reactions. This dependency started to take a toll not only on Frank's mental health, but also on his physical health, as constant stress can lead to fatigue, poor sleep, and even exacerbate existing health conditions. The danger here lies in the slow erosion of Frank's independence. Emotional dependency is a form of control, whether intentional or not. Over time, it stifles personal growth, alienates friends and family, and ultimately leaves one partner feeling trapped. When we reach our later years, we spend a lifetime developing our routines, friendships, and personal spaces. The idea of surrendering this independence can be terrifying, especially when it's done under the guise of love. At our age, it's essential to maintain a sense of independence while also nurturing a relationship. If you find that your need for personal space is consistently disregarded, it's time to reevaluate the situation. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect, trust, and an understanding of boundaries. A partner who respects your need for space will encourage you to maintain your interests and friendships, while someone who is overly attached will make you feel guilty for seeking time alone. When dealing with an overly attached partner, establishing firm boundaries is key. It's important to communicate openly and honestly about your need for personal time. Set clear expectations about what you need in terms of space and observe how your partner responds. A healthy partner will understand and respect your need for solitude, while someone who is emotionally dependent will resist or become upset at the idea of spending time apart. Remember, at this stage in life, we've earned the right to have our peace and independence. Emotional dependency can weigh heavily on your mental health and well-being, and it's important to be cautious of relationships that drain you emotionally. True love should bring comfort, not pressure. It should support your independence while allowing space for connection and intimacy. In summary, if your partner's need for attention and validation becomes overwhelming or starts affecting your sense of self, it's crucial to recognize the signs and take steps to protect your peace of mind. Keep your independence intact and make sure that your relationship doesn't compromise your emotional or mental health. It's vital to prioritize your well-being and ensure that your connections bring positivity, balance, and mutual respect. Mistake 3. The money magnet, the hidden agenda that could drain your bank account. The third type of woman to approach with caution is the money magnet. At first, she may seem charming, sophisticated, and elegant, someone who makes you feel special and appreciated. Her allure may be irresistible, especially if you've been longing for companionship in your later years. But, as many older men discover, her interest is not in you as a person. It's in your financial security. While the money magnet is rarely overt about her intentions, over time, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts in her behavior, all of which seem to revolve around your resources rather than your emotional connection. A study from the Journal of Consumer Research found that individuals with financial stability are often more susceptible to manipulative behaviors, especially within romantic relationships. Financial dependency can often be disguised as affection, and it's easy to overlook the signs at first. However, over time, it becomes evident that your partner's interest lies more in your assets than in a genuine, meaningful relationship. At this stage of life, many men have accumulated wealth, whether it's in the form of a home, savings, or a pension. Sharing these resources with someone who's more interested in your financial security than your companionship can be both deceptive and damaging. Take Harold's story, for example. At 72, Harold, a retired Navy veteran, met a woman named Denise through an online dating platform. She was everything he could have hoped for: glamorous, well-spoken, and seemingly perfect. Their first few dates were delightful. They laughed, talked for hours, and Harold felt like he'd found someone who could be a meaningful part of his life. However, after a few weeks, Denise began subtly asking for things. First, it was a new phone because hers was outdated. Then, it was financial help with some bills. Being a generous man, Harold complied, thinking that this was just part of caring for someone you're growing close to. But as time went on, Denise's requests grew more frequent and blatant. Soon, it wasn't just phone bills. She wanted a luxurious vacation. Then, expensive gifts. Finally, a new wardrobe. When Harold hesitated to agree to the vacation, Denise's affection towards him cooled, and her communication became distant. Before long, Harold realized that his relationship with Denise wasn't about love, but about his money. She disappeared, moving on to someone else who could fund her extravagant lifestyle. Harold's experience is a common pattern for men in his position. Once the financial needs of one partner begin to overshadow the emotional connection, the relationship can quickly lose its genuine value. The warning signs are often subtle, especially in the early stages. You may find yourself being manipulated into offering assistance, which at first seems harmless. However, it's important to look at the bigger picture. For Harold, the tipping point came when Denise's affection suddenly became conditional on his financial support. She had been courting him not out of a desire for emotional intimacy, but out of financial convenience. So, how can you protect yourself from falling into a similar situation? The key is to be mindful of your finances in the early stages of dating. Don't disclose details about your financial situation right away, especially with someone you've just met. Keep your financial matters private and observe how your partner reacts to discussions about money. If she's more focused on your financial security than on getting to know you as a person, that's a red flag. Watch for signs of materialism or a constant desire for expensive gifts, vacations, or lifestyle upgrades. A healthy relationship should never feel transactional. True love should never come with a price tag, and it should certainly never involve manipulation for financial gain. If someone truly values you, they will care more about who you are, not how much you can provide financially. At our age, we've worked hard to build our savings, our homes, and our legacies. It's essential that we protect those assets, not just for our own well-being, but also for the security of those we care about. When dating after 60, it's crucial to be wise with your finances. Guard your heart and wallet by establishing boundaries early on. Pay attention to how your partner treats you, not just in terms of affection, but also in terms of what she expects from you. Genuine love comes with mutual respect, not financial strings attached. Remember, you are deserving of a relationship where love, respect, and companionship are the foundation, not a relationship based on financial exploitation. Protect your resources, and most importantly, protect your peace of mind. You've earned it. Dating after 60 can be an incredibly rewarding experience, but it also requires us to be cautious. As we grow older, we've built up wisdom, patience, and a deep understanding of what we want from life. It's essential to use that wisdom when selecting a partner. By recognizing the three types of women discussed, those who bring chaos, dependency, and financial manipulation, you can protect not just your heart, but also your peace, your health, and your wealth. First, trust your gut. If something feels off, it's important to listen. As we get older, our instincts become sharper, and our ability to detect red flags becomes more accurate. Second, take things slow. There's no rush, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Take the time to truly get to know someone before committing to a relationship. Third, protect your finances and personal space. You've worked hard for what you have, and your well-being deserves to be a priority. Lastly, remember that the best relationships after 60 are built on mutual respect, love, and understanding. They should offer peace, not chaos, and fulfillment, not dependence. By staying wise and cautious, you can navigate the dating world with confidence and find a love that complements the life you've already built. So, take your time, trust yourself, and know that the right relationship will come at the right time. Remember, love at any age should be about companionship, joy, and peace, not manipulation or pressure. Your journey after 60 can still be filled with meaningful connections, laughter, and new beginnings if you approach it with the right mindset.